Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and welcome to whatever show and tell number it says in the title down below. Once again, I forgot to double check that. He's okay. Reach around here and grab my coffee. I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. Mine has been very busy. Very hectic, but all good. Just busy. Anyway, you guys, I have a basket of goodies here to share with you guys. Some acquisitions, some finished objects, some work in progress. So let's dive in and see what magic is in my basket down here. As I was going through the yarn I had left over from doing the variegated blanket, granny square blanket, variegated yarn granny square blanket, I realized since I didn't use this as the border colors in that, it just wasn't working out. I turned this Stitch Studio by Nicole into a witching hour shawl. I had 1.5 balls of this left over, so went with that. I still love the shawl pattern. It's so easy. I have another one started upstairs. That's my like waiting to fall asleep. If I don't feel like reading, I've got it there to fall asleep to. Yeah. But I'm really excited about this. It's called like Blue Multi or something, like Blue Multi, I think. And this was in the basket of yarn that I got, or the collection of yarn that I got from Erica over at the Lopsided Crafter. I'll leave her channel tag down below. But that's another 1.5 balls of that used. We have, I'm not even sure what all is in this basket, to be honest, because it's been 2 weeks since I filmed a show and tell. So I did finish another one of the granny square blankets. This one I did a little bit smaller. I did this one 4 by 3. So it's like the first one I did this year. And this one is just using solids, and I used a gray impeccable yarn from Loops and Thread to do my join and border on this one. And I mean, there's some Red Heart, there's some impeccable, there's some, this is a Craft Smart yarn that I got specifically to do an applique and didn't finish using. So that is another granny square blanket done. Since the month of August ended, I have not done a single granny square. I'm kind of tired of looking at granny squares now. I have started my Southern Skeins project. I can't wait to have more of that to show. I started it last night, and I got through the first 2 sections of the shawl that I chose. So hopefully by next week, there will be some progress worth sharing there. I do have a couple of leftover granny squares that I think this is actually one of the smaller center squares for the bicolored ones that I got finished up. Yep. That was all I did at the end of the month of August. I did not do a yarn bingo video this month because I did have a bingo, but it was really underwhelming when I went to go put everything together, and I was like, meh. As much as I love having content to share, like it just really wasn't that exciting to share. So I decided to not do a yarn bingo for the month of August because it just... A couple weeks ago, I shared with you guys that I had pulled some fall color yarns out to do, I guess technically this does fall in that granny square category, but I wanted a fall blanket for my living room, and I'm still working on using up my impeccable and Red Heart yarns. This pattern, I think somebody has a pattern like this. There are a couple of different circles in a square patterns, but this is one I kind of developed based on a few different blocks I had done in the past. So I don't know if this qualifies as being unique or not, because I'm pretty sure this is almost identical to another pattern that has been published, but it's just using the combination of these cluster stitches and chain spaces to maintain an even circle around. And then using a very similar way of squaring off the corners that Jada and Stitches uses with a lot of her squares when she does the circular start, where you do, this one is a base of single, chain 3, single in between, and then you come back around for round 2, and it's 3 singles, 2 singles, a half double, 3 singles. In the next chain 3 loop, it is a single and 2, no. Now I've already forgotten. I have it written down. It's 3 singles, a single, 2 half doubles, half double, 2 doubles, and then 3 trebles to make the corner. So that started. I do have like another 9 circles upstairs that I just haven't turned into squares yet. And I'm just doing whatever pattern I feel like doing with that circle. There's no rhyme or reason to if it's every other row or, 2 rows, or I've got one that's like all orange in the center and there's like a tan border on it. Like some are more solid, some are more scrappy looking. It's whatever I feel like doing. I'm not planning this whatsoever. That might bite me in the rear end at the end. I don't know. We're gonna hope that it doesn't. Next up, we have this month's Tea Doddles mini maker bag, which, how obsessed with these I am. The inside lining is this galaxy print, and then we have the maps. I just love her pairing of stuff. Our Southern Skeins mini this month is this beautiful blue. Absolutely stunning. And this color is Dream, and it is a 20-gram mini of the fingering weight yarn. So I'm going to put this in my advent calendar because I really don't think I'm going to meet my goal of using 25 skeins of fingering weight yarn and having leftovers to fill the advent calendar. The Yarnables I did both months that I finished the project, like I used 100% of the yarn. So now the sun's coming out. I didn't go for my walk this morning because it was pouring down rain. And now the sun's coming out. The extra little mini project is a little dream catcher. So we have a hoop and some feathers. And I think the skein of yarn is supposed to be used for that. I haven't done any of the projects that have come with these. I do have a little container over here under the window that has all of my mini skeins that aren't fingering weight. So I will eventually come up with something. The tea this month is a lemongrass ginger, which sounds delicious. And our maker charms for this month are these. So once again, we have the celestial and sea travel theme continuing on. Love those. Once again, I'm addicted to those bags. I use them all the time. I get excited every month when I see the shipping notification. I forgot last show and tell to share with you guys the stitch markers that I took out of the traveling shawl that Rose Likes Crochet is hosting. These are the markers she made that I took from the box. The Crafty Nomad had the yellow shawl last, and it has gone to the Crochet Nurse. And I'm not sure who has the purple shawl. I don't know if that's been sent on yet or not. So kind of keep your eyes peeled. I did buy some yarn. This is from Blue Water Yarns. She had shared this on Facebook in a Facebook group. And the color is Angora from Bewitched. This is DK weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 245 yards, 100 grams, 4 ply. And I just absolutely had to have it. I love Agnes Moorehead. I love the original show. I grew up watching Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie like 100% on the regular. But I just love, A, I love the inspiration for this yarn, and B, I just love the yarn. I thought it was just beyond spectacular. So I had to get it. And I got both skeins. She had 2 available, so I wanted to make sure I had enough yardage to be able to do a large enough project that I wanted to be able to have choices. 1 skein of DK weight yarn can get you a hat, but I wanted options. So I did get both skeins that were available. And while I know Angora was the inspiration for this colorway, it's really funny because to me, it also looks like crocus flowers. So it looks very springy, as well as also potentially being Halloween-y or just really pretty. Last up in my basket of goodies here, we have this month's Yarnable. I probably won't share this every single month as I continue the subscription. Like I said, when I finished the Yarnable review, I did go ahead and cancel my knit crate and decide to keep this one. So after 3 years, I am no longer getting a knit crate. After that review series, I never really shared it because there are so many videos out there sharing the knit crate boxes, either as sponsored content or just people sharing that that's what they're getting. So I made the choice to never really share what I was getting in my knit crates. But I mean, you guys can see on the wall where knit crates have stacked up. So I decided to go ahead and cancel and keep my Yarnable subscription. I did like it enough that I decided to keep it. I told you guys at the end of that review that this was neutral without being boring. And this is the yarn. It is very neutral. It's blues and browns and cream. It's very, very pretty. You have very cool tony tones with some warmy orangey undertones in there too. It's just beautiful. It, once again, could read spring or fall to me just because the combination, it kind of reads like robin's eggs. And the name of this one is Born to be Mild, which I think is hilarious. But it is absolutely beautiful. Once again, I personally love the yarn. I think it is stellar, and I'm very excited to be continuing this subscription as we go on. Like I said, I probably won't share this every single month, but I will periodically share when I get it. There's that orangey copper tone popping up there, but it reads just so beautiful. I've seen a couple people working on socks and other projects with it this month, and I'm just like, I can't wait. I'm excited. So our extras were, we got a 2-pack of these reusable treat bags. I am in love with sloths, so these are exceptionally cute. And with the Born to be Mild theme, like, come on, that's just adorable. And he has a little blue tum-tums, so it matches. We got some sloth paper clips, which I do use my decorative paper clips periodically on things. And then we got a car air freshener. So once again, I kind of am enjoying, the theming is random because it's not all color-based theme. It's just kind of like, I mean, I can see where you would buy these, be inspired by the color, dye the yarn, and then just go with the sloth theme. It's not, it's unique. And everything is so useful. I do use the reusable bags as much as possible in the kitchen. I'm trying to reduce our waste without being like, yeah, see, sun. I do try to reduce our waste without being like hard-lined on it, because there are just certain times where disposable items are just the best item. So I do try to reduce, but I'm not trying to do like the zero waste thing. And especially storing cheeses, most cheeses have live bacteria in them. So when it comes to storing cheeses, I either use my vintage Pyrex refrigerator dishes with the glass lid that doesn't seal, That way the cheese can still breathe. Or I use those and leave a little air hole for the cheese to still be able to breathe, especially if it's just a small offcut that I'm not going to be using a whole lot of. So for me, the reusable bags are actually a very useful thing in my kitchen. The air freshener, I mean, I'm not scent opposed. I probably will forget to put that in my car. The paper clips will definitely be going in my desk. So they're, once again, useful in a tangential way, and they stick with the theme in a very tangential way. Tangential words. Mouth, brain, disconnect. Way to the colorway. So once again, I'm still just enjoying it. I'm enjoying the theming. I'm a sucker for a good theme. I'm having fun with it. I love the color. I really can't wait to figure out what I'm going to do with it. So anyway, that is my basket empty. I have emptied my basket. So for 2 weeks, that's all I've gotten done and all I have to show for it. I do have 2 shawls that I'm working on upstairs. I am still working on spinning yarn. I finished 1 bobbin of the rainbow yarn on the Grumpy Old Man wheel. I have half of a blue bobbin to go with the pinks and blues that I've already spun with the skipping wheel. And I was talking to Erica yesterday on the phone, and I'm frustrated. So I made the decision to make that pink and blue marl yarn, and then I was going to do a pink yarn and a blue yarn, and I'm going to knit it up into a shawl. Like, it's going to work out fine knitting it. I'm not annoyed with what the yarn will work up like, but I am so frustrated spinning that loops and thread roving at this point. After trying that Hobby Lobby roving, that is like 65% acrylic and the rest of it's polyamide. So it's nylon and acrylic. It is very, very slippy and it drafts beautifully. So if you're looking for an inexpensive fiber and are not acrylic opposed, that Hobby Lobby stuff actually spins really nicely. I do have sweaty palms, so I do have to like take breaks periodically because the moisture in my palms, between moisturizing because my hands get so dry and just sweaty palms, I do have a problem with like it getting kind of nappy on my hands, but that's not a problem with the fiber. That's user error. But after working with that and getting such a beautiful, fine, consistent single out of that, even though it is overspun a little bit, like I'm enjoying working with that, and it's just gliding on the spinning wheel, and it's gliding on the grumpy one. I'm very frustrated going back to working with the loops and thread one. No matter how much I pull that roving down into like pencil roving and tiny amounts at a time, it was meant to be used as a yarn. So this isn't, it was never meant to be spun anyway, but I'd gotten it so I could practice spinning on the spinning wheel, or if I just gave up, I could continue using the drop spindle. I am just mad. It is so frustrating to work with now after having used the other one. And I did make an Etsy purchase from a dyer across the state from me. They're here in North Carolina. I will leave their Etsy shop tagged down below or linked down below if you want to go check out what they have. Very reasonable prices, but they do uncut mill-ins of their fiber. And they had merino wool, pinks and reds at a steal of a bargain. It's like 8 ounces for $14 or something is what I paid. And I got 1 pound of the undyed merino. And I was thinking I could just grab random little bunches. And there are a couple different ways of drafting that I could play with, where you fold it over your finger and just let it get fluffy as you draft it. Or the more traditional where you see like a handful of roving and pulling it in the length of the fiber and the combed roving. And I was like, there's so many different things I could do with that and do a variegated random pinks and reds yarn 2-ply together. That would be really cool. Or do a 3-ply with the undyed merino, do 2 of the red variegated, 1 of the white. And I was thinking that could also be a lot of fun. And just playing with different styles and techniques and textures for a really reasonable price. I mean, I cannot express how reasonable the pricing was. So it's something that I think that's part of the problem I'm having working with the blue on Skipper is I really want to hurry up and finish that. So I'm no longer spinning that roving and move to using that Merino because it's really soft. I have a plan in my brain of what I want to do and how I think it's going to turn out. And I'm really, really, really wanting to get in there. So I know I'm having like the two parts of my brain fighting with each other. And it's just hilarious because I'm like, also I did want to share. So I had told you guys I wanted to see if I could get the hang of Grumpy Old Man, the new spinning wheel that I got a few weeks ago. And then I needed to clean him up. So this is the picture I took when I first brought him home. I should have done a before and after picture of this as I was doing this, but this is the before picture. And you can see like you need some love. You need some love. Grumpy needs some love. And this is the pictures that I took after I took some Old English lemon oil to him, cleaned him up real good, and then went in with some, I think it's feed and wax, and got him waxed down real good, moisturized the wood. He looks like a totally different machine now. I haven't spun on it. I need to re-oil him now that he's clean. And then I'll try spinning on him and see how he's doing after he got a bath. But I'm really impressed at how just totally different this spinning wheel looks before and after I cleaned him up. So I did want to share because that was just really, I find cleaning wood to be so satisfying. Our previous house hadn't really been deeply cared for in a long time. And I took orange oil, really cleaned down the banisters and everything and the facings of the stairs where it was still the stained natural wood, and then came in with the feed and wax on those, and it went from being like looking almost black wood to like this beautiful rich orange tone wood, and it just totally changed the foyer of our house. So I love cleaning wood. It's oddly satisfying because you can see it immediately as you're going. When you get the grime layer off and start rehydrating the wood and really getting it good and clean, just how completely different it looks. Unfortunately, part of what that kicked off is me going back to my old cleaning schedule. I've been waking up at 4 o'clock, between 4 and 5 every morning for about 3 months now. And I'm doing all these random chores and cleaning and stuff first thing in the morning. Some of you guys have noticed, I'm replying to comments, at dark 30 in the morning. And I've gotten a few, what are you doing up? You're on the East Coast. It's, got to be, 4 o'clock. That's why I've just been waking up really early every single morning. And I went back to my old cleaning schedule this week. And that includes things like reminding me to do my windows and mirrors. And yesterday was Windows and Mirrors Day, and I spent a lot of time cleaning windows and mirrors yesterday. So I was really exhausted by the end of the day. That it's something I do maybe every 6 months if I'm not following my schedule. Now I'm back to it, and today was easy. Today was just scrubbing down the bathrooms and moppings. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm already done with all that. I've done cleaning, took a shower and everything else. But yeah, yesterday was a little, I need to rewrite the schedule for what actually works with this house, but I'm lazy. Let's be honest. I'm just kind of lazy, but I do eventually need to reprint that out. That way I can just mark it off as I go. I am very much a list motivated person. Being able to put those little tick marks off on things, just makes my life easier. I don't forget things that way, which is always a good thing. But that's really what this week has been like. It's been a lot of cleaning and picking up and sorting. I need to start going through and like our closet where we keep like the office supplies. We just shoved a bunch of stuff in there when we moved 2 years ago. So I really need to go in there and start organizing those things and figuring out what needs to be tossed, what needs to be donated. I know I have some things here in the craft room that really are of no use to anybody except for like 1 out of every 500 people I know. So I'm just going to drop some stuff off at the Goodwill, I think, and get rid of it. I just don't need it. Don't want to have it junking up my space. I need some visual clarity. I also need to go through my wardrobe, see what fits, what doesn't fit, what I like, what I don't like, and start doing all of that. So it's going to be a busy month for me in September. A lot of it is going to be that. I do have 3 people for sure who are having baby girls between Christmas and Valentine's. So I need to get together. I've got a bunch of pink yarn up here, thankfully. Start making some baby blankets. My baby blanket stash has been depleted. I don't have any left. So 2021 or 2022 will probably, one of the goals will be making sure that I have, you know, a good 12 to 15 baby blankets on hand in blue, green, yellow, pink. So we might be doing a lot of baby projects next year just to have a stash of stuff on hand for, hey, you're pregnant, yay. And a lot of these are first time babies. So it's, yeah. And I'm not the only one. Actually, one of my neighbors is expecting a granddaughter, and it's like everybody decided to have girls all at once. So something in the universal water, I suppose. So if you start seeing baby things here shortly, that's what it is. I just have a bunch of babies that are coming here in the next couple months. All right. Well, I've stood here talking far longer than I meant to, probably way longer than I needed to. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, fantastic day. As always, I love you guys. I look forward to seeing you all real soon. Please take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.